Of course, you can use a cake comb to smooth the frosting on your cake, but in this tutorial I'm going to show you all of the other ways you can use your cake comb for cake decorating. Before piping onto a cake, it's a good idea to mark where you're going to pipe, to keep things straight or level or the same width or height. A cake comb is great for this because it's straight and thin, so you can easily score up and down or around a cake. Then just pipe along these lines for the neatest results. I decorated this cake with my new facelift frosting technique, and I'll show you how to do this later in this tutorial. When you've smoothed the frosting on the sides of a cake, you'll have frosting sticking up around the top edge, and you can use your cake comb to smooth that, pushing sideways to swipe it off. Clean your comb after each scrape for the sharpest edges. For an even sharper edge, cut the frosting. Put the cake in the freezer for 30 minutes first to chill and set the frosting, and then dip a metal cake comb in hot water to heat it. Dry it off on a towel or paper towel, and then use the edge to slice through the frosting that's sticking up around the top of the cake. Work your way around the cake, dipping the comb back into the hot water if it cools down, and you'll create a neat, razor-sharp edge around the top of your cake. The hot metal cake comb method works for the frosting on the sides of the cake too. After scraping around the cake to smooth it, if you have air bubbles or indents or unwanted texture, just heat the comb and scrape again. Use hot water or even a blowtorch for this, and the hot metal will melt the outer layer of frosting, dragging it to fill in any gaps in the frosting and leaving it super smooth. If you have a metal cake comb, you can use it for the facelift frosting technique, where you pipe details and set them in the freezer and then frost over them to cover them up completely. Then chill again. Heat a metal cake comb in water or with a blowtorch, and then scrape around the cake again and again, taking off layer after layer after layer of frosting, and revealing a cross-section of the piping, creating a colourful design or pattern that is completely flat on the cake, as if it's been printed or painted onto the cake, but it's just frosting. The link for the tutorial for this is in the video description, or just Google facelift frosting. Transfer your cake from its cake board onto a cake stand for prettier photos or a classier way to display the cake on a dessert table. A cake comb is a great tool for this because it's thin, so it's easy to slide between the cake and the cake board. And it's wide, so it's easy to balance the cake on it as you move it. The cake needs to be chilled in the fridge before doing this, so that the frosting gets cold and hard. And then you can touch it without damaging it. When frosting or chocolate or cake crumbs get onto your work surface, if you wipe them off straight away, they'll smear and smudge and make a mess, but if you wait an hour or so for them to dry out and set, you can clean them off with hardly any effort using a cake comb. Scrape across the table or a counter and your comb will dislodge any ingredients, leaving a clean surface behind. After spreading frosting onto your cake, you probably use a cake comb to smooth that frosting, which is what it's intended for. But a cake comb is also a useful tool to scrape off frosting smudges from your cake board, leaving the board smooth and clean and pretty. A comb is especially useful if the frosting has already set. For example, if you've had the cake in the fridge, because with a solid tool like this, you don't need much pressure at all to loosen and remove the hard frosting. Visit my cake school on britishgirlbakes.com to learn hundreds of cake decorating techniques and designs, and join my Club Plus membership for access to every master course, mini course, live workshop, and 5-Minute Fridays. Thanks for watching.